comes from Germany. Where does that come from?
I don't care. Gotta get him on my hair.
Hey, what is up, you guys? And it is Baby Cook here, and today we're going to be talking about the differences between being sad and being depressed. Alright, so let's get started with the topic of being sad. Okay, being sad is basically either feeling or showing sorrowness or unhappiness. That's the actual definition. And from my side, I consider being sad more like just unhappy. Just unhappy. Kind of like whiny. Basically almost like a baby. And the definition where sad comes from, or the original word sad, comes from Germany. And depression, on the other hand, basically a mental disorder of feelings of severe dependency. I deal with it. There's a lot of people that deal with it. And it feels like a whole bunch of despair and just being alone, feeling like you're stuck. Well, I'm gonna just continue to tell you the reasons why. They're two different things. And people get these two words mixed up because they both fall under the category of being down. Now, I understand being down is basically like, instead of the opposite of up, it's like un. It's basically like unhappy. It's like no happiness whatsoever. It's just like zero, nothing, zilch. When you're sad, it's just unhappy, like you're under. If you're depressed, it's more like suffocation of anxiety, fear, anxious, despair. And sometimes people just don't get those words. Like, they don't think those words are different. But I see the difference. The one thing nobody realizes also is that being sad is an emotion, and depression is not an emotion. Well, it's a mixture of emotions, but in one. And that creates a disorder, mainly of people who are severely have this mental illness, including I, are having the depression disorder. Some people don't really get that. Well, here's how to break it down to you as best as I could from my experiences of what I know and how I'm dealing with it. Alright, so being depressed is basically you are having your thoughts, so many thoughts up in your head. And it's basically, for an example, let's just say you just broke up with somebody, right? And usually some girls, when they break up with somebody, if they really love that person, just letting you know, girls and guys can deal with depression. And usually females, we don't know how to deal with being depressed. So our only thing to do is to either starve, either eat a lot over stuff, like stay stuck, stay indoors, cry ourselves to sleep, cry a lot, a whole bunch of anxiety, trust issues. Like, we end up having like a whole bunch of issues. It's just like everything in your mind. It's just everything in your head. It's not temporary like being sad is. Because when you're sad, you can turn happy. You can turn happy real quick. But when you're depressed, that takes time. Depression takes time to heal. Just like when you're in love, time heals all. So if you were to be in love or fall into love or something, it's all together. It's basically all those feelings together, but in one big, huge word called depression. Now, I know some people might deal with, like, traumatic experiences or some other things that they're dealing with, personal struggles. It's all in this category of being depressed. Sadness, on the other hand, is not forever thing. Being sad is not forever. When you're sad, you could turn yourself happy. being depressed, you got to go to therapy for that. You have to go and take time to talk to people for that. Open up. You got to be able to, and this currently, like from the first video that you saw from before this, episode of, sit down talks. Someone's depressed, you got to look for someone with empathy so you can understand the way you're talking.
Stupid phone.
Anyway, when you are talking to someone, it's usually best to talk to an adult about, being depressed as well. Mainly, because it's really important. Being sad, of course, you could talk to somebody, and then they'll probably take you out to go eat or something. Like, sadness, you could turn sadness into happiness. Depression, that takes time. Not only that, but like if you are somebody with depression, just talk to somebody. There's people there for you. You're not alone, because I deal with depression myself. I go to therapy all the time. But I'm currently in a program where there's someone that comes to my house and takes me out. And it's called an EISS worker, a program where they help you become more independent also at the same time. Like, they help you just live your life, basically. And me, when I was in high school, I didn't have that much of a come up, if that makes any sense. Like, people to hang out with and everything. I was always in my room, stuck, depressed, just alone, no one to talk to, hardly any friends. So I understand for being depressed. Yeah. When you're depressed, usually people with depression, we have triggers. Like, the reason why we're depressed is probably because of something. People that have depression, we have a trigger. And if you bring anything up that's similar to the subject, we'll burst into tears. We'll let everything out. And it happens to me all the time whenever I have a trigger. I burst into tears and I cry. Sometimes it keeps me up at night and everything. Like, I just can't sleep. I've had eating disorder, but I'll explain that in like another, video. Depressed is just not, it's not a good thing, but at the same time, like, it's something people have to live with. Like, once you have it, I'm guessing, like, it's just, you gotta learn how to work with it, Not only that, but depression is caused by stress. It's caused by fear, aversion. It's like the behavior of us, And just sometimes people feel guilty for doing stuff. Like, for example, I've done some guilty things that I'll probably say in the nearby future. But for right now, we could just, relax and just chill. And some of us, when we fall apart, we're very emotional. Me, I just stay quiet, and I am very, very emotional. People like us, we have low moods. So depression and sadness, two different things. Don't get them mixed up. Go outside, do something fun, go out, go, do stuff. Like, for me, how I deal with my depression as of right now, I keep myself busy so I don't have time to be upset. Because I find myself every time whenever I'm depressed, that whenever I'm stuck or trapped or inside or just staying in one place for periods and periods and periods of time, I freak and I just break down. I cry, I tear myself up, I beat myself up, I call myself names. I just I could even be fine all day. Sometimes, like with depression, like you could just, I don't know, it just comes up. It's basically left back in the back of your mind.
Hello, I'm here.
You can't let that type of stuff get to you at the same time, You gotta keep it up, you gotta keep yourself motivated. You gotta keep yourself moving and going forward, and forgive and forgetting, not letting stuff like that get to you. I love you guys. This was just a little sit down talk video, basically. So since you guys loved the first one, I'm giving you guys a second one. Comment below what type of videos you would like me to do, or if you guys want more of this type of stuff, comment below. Heart, smiley face, whatever you guys would like. I love you guys. Stay strong, stay beautiful, and always, remember that you're not alone and that you're beautiful, and whatever anybody else says is bull. And love you guys. Peace out, Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, and bye.